On snipers, Naeem Al-Obeidi here. I hope all of you guys are having a wonderful day today. Let's go ahead and just dive right into our daily cryptocurrency analytics for today. We're going to be taking a little bit of a different approach today, not necessarily looking at all of the technicals. However, I do want to share a coin that I've really been watching over the past couple of weeks and I've gained a lot of interest in, especially after Ripple's run up. And that coin was created by the same founder of Ripple, Jed McCaleb, and that's Stellar XLM. And it's a coin that I really want to dive into, and I'm going to try my best not to be biased. However, I do need to cover ground on Stellar and the technology and the use cases that have occurred over the past couple of months in the end of 2017, now approaching Q2 of 2018. I do want to cover the fundamentals and the technicals of Stellar. We're not going to get into the nitty gritty, the stuff that might confuse you guys, like the consensus system that's actually implemented through Stellar, which is the Federated Byzantine Agreement, or even the quorum aspect of it. We're just going to focus on the technicals and the fundamentals to see why this coin has a potential of having a huge run up heading into Q2 of 2018. So let's just dive right into it, snipers. So first, we're going to be looking at the technicals here of Stellar. As you guys know, if you guys are receiving my trade alerts, you guys know that I've expected a run up here with Stellar, which we've seen so far, and then a period of consolidation that will follow to form and complete this cup and handle that is currently forming as we speak. This is our trading view chart, by the way. So if you guys want this chart, the link is in the description below. It's a free resource, and for yours to look like mine, just right click insert indicator. We're going to be utilizing a couple different indicators today, looking at the technicals of Stellar, so we can see where this price might head over the past or the next couple of weeks, if not days, because we can always look at patterns that are forming, right? So volume, the 3 moving averages, the relative strength index, and we're also going to be utilizing the MACD, which is the moving average convergence divergence, which we've just recently started talking about more often. So looking at current levels of prices for here, looking at Stellar, you can see there is this cup and handle forming here. You can see there's some clear support levels forming here right around this area, and then you see that's initialized from that initial breakout that occurred with that period of consolidation, which formed that cup. Now we're seeing that kind of round itself about, and we're going to start testing these resistance levels here on the top. And as soon as we start testing those resistance levels, what's expected to happen is, because this MACD fast line, which is blue, is just now crossing over the slow line, I think that's enough momentum that's going to be built, especially with this green volume coming in, with the RSI still under 70, still has that potential to reach that 90-ish area where we saw earlier with this run up. It's going to be just enough, in my opinion, to break and hit this resistance level, not necessarily go through it, which is a good thing, because what will most likely happen is we're going to see this MACD line. So the way you use the MACD is you're looking for these crossovers between the fast line and the slow line. And by the way, if you guys want to know how to set these up, you want to have a period of 12 on the fast line and then a period of 26 on the slow line, or you can, it says here, fast length, slow length. So what you're looking for is these crossovers, because those crossovers are typically where you see this price swing back and forth, almost like a pendulum, right? So you can see we swung in, and that swing actually initiated that run up, and now I think that's going to be enough momentum for us to see this pretty much go right around here to possibly swing back, and that backswing I think is going to go ahead and cause this price to drop down, possibly to these previous support levels here. And then that right there is going to initiate and complete that cup and handle, because that's really where the handle will form. We might see it extend quite a bit. If you guys don't know what a cup and handle looks, I'll go ahead and pull up this resource. This is probably the most important resource that all of you guys, I highly recommend you guys get this. The link is in the description below. If you go to our voice channels, you go to our area down here in tools, which is on top of the voice channels, and you click trading 101, you can see exactly how this cup and handle forms, and it's exactly what we're seeing here. It's an indicator of a positive breakout. So you can see that's initial run up, the consolidation that forms that cup, and then that handle forms, exactly what we're seeing here. Period of run up, consolidation, handle starting to form. So as soon as that handle forms, the best buying price, in my opinion, is right here along this area where we'll start to see some support, and then this MACD and this RSI will start to recharge, and then hopefully we'll see that starting to test these resistance levels once again, and then that's really where that breakout, in my opinion, will occur for Stellar, and that should be in the next couple of days. So we're definitely going to be watching this, because right here, as soon as it bounces, that's when it's going to bounce right through that resistance line. So looking at the technicals, it looks really good. That's just the fact of the matter. We're not even that far away from this 50-day moving average, which is also pretty good. You can see in terms of length here, we're only about 72% away, where at one point here, we were already 263% away. So the moving average is going to have time to go ahead and catch up. And that's also what's interesting about this handle is it forms, being that the price levels are so high, it's going to give time for the 50-day moving average to catch up. And it almost acts like a magnet, right? When you put a magnet on opposite poles together, what does it do? It pushes away, right? So it's exactly what happens. It pushes this price away from the moving average, and most likely going to see that breakout occur. So a lot of signs of a breakout here with Stellar. Looking at total market cap, by the way, you're hearing it live on Sniper's Tube. I believe Stellar will have a potential breakout. Now, I might be wrong, right? This is technical analysis. It's not always reliable. You know, there are other fundamental aspects of the market and psychology that can affect the market. However, based on the technicals and even the fundamentals, which we're going to talk about, I believe Stellar has huge potential for 2018. Currently at 62 cents, $11 billion market cap. Looking at that compared to the other coins in the market, you can see here we're number 6, right behind Ripple at number 3. So approaching Ripple's market cap there, currently at 46 billion. So it's going to take quite a bit to get Stellar up there. However, understand that a couple days ago, Ripple's market cap was over 100 billion. So big volatility in this market, guys. So let's go ahead and transition into more of the fundamental aspects. This is the intrinsic value aspects of Stellar, right? So first and foremost, on our Twitter, if you guys are following us on our Sniper's Tube Twitter, you guys know we love doing polls and doing community consensus. You can see I did a poll. We got 75 votes so far, which typically, this was just posted a couple minutes ago. Typically, if you see one of our other polls, we get tons of different votes here. And it really allows you to see what the community is thinking and where they're at. So 441 votes here. Which reference currency do you prefer, Satoshis or US dollars? Most people said US dollars, where in my opinion, you should be using Satoshis because that's really the reference currency that will maximize your gains, right? You have to look at Satoshi levels, look at Satoshi prices, and not necessarily the US dollars, especially if you're trading using Bitcoin. That's the point, right? You're typically trading altcoins with Bitcoin. Some people use Ethereum, and there's other ones we're not going to get into. But looking at the community consensus, you can see a lot of people are holding Stellar, 44%, and then 31% say both. So that right there, another interesting statistic. Obviously not the most reliable, but definitely something that is noteworthy here. And our Twitter, once again, is in the description if you guys are not on there. And then now let's transition into Stellar's fundamental aspects, right? Very good community support. You guys know anytime I look at a product, a system, a company, an ICO, I'm looking for community consensus, community support, right? Consensus means agreement. So I'm looking for a community that agrees with the vision of that specific company or what they want to accomplish. Obviously, Stellar, 188,000 followers, it's doing its thing. I mean, it has tons of engagement. I like that. Some of you might say that's kind of weird that you're looking at that. No, it's fundamental, right? It makes sense. You need a community that's engaged if you want a product or a service to succeed or a vision to be accomplished, let alone. Looking at this next article here, CoinDesk, goodbye Ethereum. Kick plans to move its ICO tokens to Stellar. Interesting article. I'm going to leave all of these articles in the description for you guys to look at. But that's just one use case right now, or use example of how Stellar is eating its way into the market now. Look at that. They're now switching over to the Stellar's protocol. Interesting. Jed McCaleb, the founder, right? Very important to look at the founder. Very accomplished individual, in my opinion. Started one of the first Bitcoin exchanges called MTGOX. It was one of the largest for a very long time. And yes, MTGOX went down. People lost a lot of money with it because of stuff that happened after he sold the company. Keep that in mind. I think it was a year after is when all of the drama really came into MTGOX, and there was a breach and a lot of people lost tokens. A lot of Bitcoin were lost and stolen. So you can see here, very accomplished in his own right. He started Ripple. Obviously, everybody knows about Ripple. That's the other fundamental aspect that I keep in mind when looking at Stellar right now, saying, man, it's at 11 billion. Ripple is at 46 billion. And Stellar is it's created by the founder of Ripple, right? And he's actually trying to pursue the original vision he had for Ripple within Stellar. And in my opinion, he's going to have the success that he wants because of the fact that he is the visionary, right? So I think being the fact that Stellar takes a more decentralized approach to the market than what Ripple does, it's going to lead to a lot of differences, in my opinion. Another use case here, largest ICO of 2018. Mobius hits 39 million hard cap of public and Mobi token sale. Now, there's other ICOs that were larger than this. I think this was the latter part of 2018. You can see the Mobi public token sale limited individual buyers to a maximum of 25,000 tokens each and only accepted Stellar Lumens as payment. The Mobi pre-sale was the largest of Q4 2017 of 2018, at least so far. So obviously, there's a use case here. I looked into Mobius as well, trying to see what does this technology entail. And it pretty much wants to be the Stripe for blockchain, right? So interesting, right? Because guess what Ripple wants to do? It wants to take it wants to take its technology and beat Swift. So they have different visions. They have different paths that they're going to take. But I think Stellar is definitely on the road to getting itself in those higher levels in terms of market cap. So looking at this last article here, this is probably the most interesting, and it's on Stellar's website. So you can even claim this is a little bit biased, but I think it has a lot of good points to point out here. You can see it doesn't just tout itself as better than Ripple. It shows that Ripple here had more growth and has had more volume increase over the past year. And it's fine admitting that, which I like, right? You go down, they look at the three fundamentals of the most individual aspects of a success in this marketplace, which is scalability, security, and adoptability. And that's what they're talking about here. That scale, proven secure, and have credit card-like transaction latencies. And this is pretty much them talking about what their vision is for Stellar. This article was awesome, guys. I went through this, and I highly recommend looking at this. You know, we're looking and working towards a future where Stellar is the global protocol for asset exchange. Our Stellar consensus protocol has now had 2 years of field testing, and this year we added smart contract functionality to allow creative applications like crowdfunding, escrow, and dividends, and that's why you see the Mobius ICO built on that. So just in a fundamental sense, I know we're not getting into more of the depth of Stellar and how the consensus protocol is created, and you know what their blockchain entails and what their strong vision is, but what I want you guys to get from this is I think it's a coin that some of you guys should research. I'd rather empower you guys to understand and learn more about Stellar or anything in crypto or blockchain rather than just give you guys all the answers, right? You teach an individual how to fish, he can fish forever. If you just fish for him, then you keep fishing for him. So I want to teach you guys how to fish. So I'm going to leave all these links in the description below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I felt the need to post it because it's just something that's been on my mind and I just can't hold back on it. Like if I feel like something is going to have growth, I want to let it out because guess what? In a month or two from now, if I'm wrong, that's completely fine. I'm fine with that. Maybe I had bad judgment looking at Stellar as a potential breakout, but what if 2 months from now it blows up? I want to be secure in myself knowing that I was able to at least share this with those of you willing to listen. And then for those of you that do your due diligence, you can make your own predictable and knowledgeable wise decision on what you want to invest in, because once again, this isn't financial advice. This is my opinion, and hopefully this has helped some of you guys. And I believe Stellar has a bright future. I love the project, and I think Jed McCaleb can truly lead this to the next level and become one of the greats like Vitalik Buterin and Satoshi Nakamoto, which I wish we knew who he was. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this style of video. Once again, we're going to be watching Stellar over the next couple of days. Tune into our live stream every single night, and like always, snipers out.